Imagine waking up on another planet. Not in a science fiction movie, but as an actual reality in your lifetime. What if I'd told you that in less than 25 years, humanity could have a fully functioning city on Mars with nearly 1 million people living, working and thriving on the red planet? This isn't just wild speculation or a billionaire's fever dream anymore. SpaceX has detailed roadmaps, engineering blueprints and timelines that make this absolutely possible. But here's what most people don't realize. Building a Martian city isn't just about launching rockets and planting flags. It's one of the most complex engineering challenges humanity has ever attempted, requiring solutions so innovative and sometimes so bizarre that they'll completely change how you think about survival, technology, and our future as a species. If you're fascinated by human achievement, incredible engineering challenges, and the future of our civilization, you absolutely need to hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Untold Realms for more mind-bending documentary content, and turn on those notifications so you never miss when we explore the most extraordinary stories humanity has to offer. Leave a comment below telling me whether you'd be brave enough to make that one-way trip to Mars. Now, let's dive into the incredible science and engineering that will make humanity truly multiplanetary. Before we talk about construction crews and habitats, you need to understand why Mars presents such a different challenge than anywhere else humans could colonize. The Moon is just 1 day away. That means lunar colonists could theoretically get resupply missions, emergency evacuations, or even recreational trips back home relatively easily. But Mars? That's a completely different beast entirely. We're talking about 8 months of travel time, one way. Even with advanced nuclear propulsion systems that might cut this down to 45 days in the future, Mars colonists cannot depend on Earth for survival. This single fact changes everything about how we have to approach colonization. A Mars city cannot be like a research outpost in Antarctica where you can always get help from the outside world. Instead, it has to be entirely self-sufficient. And here's the kicker. Scientists estimate you'd need roughly 1 million people or more living and thriving on Mars before the colony becomes truly stable and resistant to catastrophic failure. That means we're not just building a small settlement. We're constructing an entirely new civilization from scratch. The environment isn't helping either. Mars is colder than Antarctica, drier than the Sahara Desert, but with dust storms that dwarf anything on Earth. The atmosphere is so thin that liquid water cannot exist on the surface. It instantly evaporates. Without a pressure suit, you'd simultaneously freeze, boil, and suffocate. The radiation exposure is lethal because there's almost no atmospheric protection from the sun's nuclear radiation. This is the environment we need to conquer. This is where the strategy gets brilliant. SpaceX isn't going to send humans first. They're sending robots. Specifically, they're sending Optimus, Tesla's AI-powered humanoid robots that are designed to handle work in any environment, including one of the harshest places in our solar system. And yes, it's probably not a coincidence that a sister company of SpaceX is developing exactly the technology they need. The first wave involves launching 5 Starship landers, each carrying 10 tons of payload, as early as 2026. The primary goal: land at least one ship without crashing. SpaceX has learned that trial and error, even when things blow up initially, eventually leads to perfect execution. Once one ship lands successfully, those Optimus robots will be released onto the Martian surface with a critical mission: prepare the way for humanity. 2 years later, around 2028, the first real colonial fleet arrives. We're talking 20 Starship landers, each carrying 75 tons of cargo. This isn't just material. This is the infrastructure that will determine whether humans can actually survive on Mars. These robots have 2 absolutely critical projects to complete. Project number 1 is a water treatment plant. And, well, it's absolutely fundamental. The Arcadia region, which is located northeast of Olympus Mons, the tallest mountain in the entire solar system, has been identified as the settlement location because it's flat near the equator. But most importantly, it contains massive deposits of water ice beneath the surface. Here's where the genius engineering comes in. Water can be broken into 2 base elements: oxygen and hydrogen. So, while the robots are extracting ice and converting it into drinkable water for future colonists, they're simultaneously producing oxygen for people to breathe. The hydrogen becomes something else entirely: rocket fuel. This leads directly to the second critical project, a methane fuel production plant. SpaceX chose methane for Starship fuel because it's more stable than pure hydrogen. You get 1 carbon atom bonded with 4 hydrogen atoms. The hydrogen comes from water. But where does the carbon come from? This is almost poetic. It comes literally out of thin air. Mars's thin atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide. Autonomous robots extract carbon atoms from the Martian air itself, creating methane while producing bonus oxygen. Supporting all of this is a mining operation using scaled-down boring technology from the Boring Company. The water ice sits underground. It needs to be excavated. As a bonus, all the rock and soil extracted during mining can be processed into something like asphalt and used for roads and landing pads. By 2030, the Optimus robots have prepared the infrastructure. Now humanity arrives. Imagine 100 Starship landers descending through the Martian atmosphere, each carrying 150 tons of cargo. This is when everything changes. The robots now have human partners, and 2 massive new construction projects become critical. First, a power plant. Until now, solar panels could handle robot power needs. But humans require vastly more energy. Life support systems must run 24/7, providing oxygen, water, heat and pressurization. Mars's day is almost exactly 24 hours like Earth, meaning 12 hours of darkness. Those solar panels need to connect to massive battery systems, specifically Tesla megapacks. 1 megapack can power a small town for a couple of hours. Multiple units keep an entire Mars colony alive through the Martian night. Then there's shelter. Starship landers are tall and narrow structures never designed as permanent homes. Humans and robots work together to build the first permanent Martian habitats. The concept that most people imagine giant glass domes would require 350 Starship loads just to build one dome, plus all the construction equipment. Instead, NASA's Langley Research Center is studying ice domes. Think of an igloo principle scaled to Mars. Inflatable modules form the base structure. Autonomous robots then fill the dome with translucent water ice harvested from the Martian surface. Water ice is one of the best radiation shields available. The translucency allows natural light through, which benefits the sleep cycles and mental health of colonists. For larger, more versatile structures like research labs and factories, engineers plan something revolutionary. Human waste becomes building material. This concept, called astrocrete or biocrete, uses human blood, sweat and urine as binding agents. Medieval stonemasons actually mixed animal blood into mortar when building castles. The idea isn't new, it's just being adapted for Mars. When humans need to extract water from urine, the remaining urea can be mixed with Martian soil and rock to create concrete actually stronger than what we build with on Earth today. Now we arrive at perhaps the greatest challenge. Food. Water and fuel can be manufactured, but feeding 1 million people requires constant, reliable agriculture. Martian soil contains perchlorates, the same chlorine compounds we put in swimming pools to kill bacteria. Growing food in this toxic soil is essentially impossible without treatment. The solution involves yet another Mars-based industry for processing soil and removing perchlorates, creating viable growing conditions. And in a full-circle moment of efficiency, human waste again becomes valuable. If urine makes cement, human solid waste fertilizes the fields that feed 1 million people. It's not glamorous, but it works. If humanity can lock down these basic necessities, power, water, oxygen, shelter and food, in a way that's completely self-sustaining and doesn't depend on Earth for survival, then we've achieved something unprecedented. We become a truly multiplanetary species. The vision of a functioning Mars city by 2050 isn't just possible anymore. It's probable, and it's coming sooner than most people realize. This is the kind of story that reminds us what humans can accomplish when we commit to seemingly impossible goals. If this exploration of humanity's future fascinated you, please subscribe to Untold Realms for more incredible documentary content that challenges how you see the world. Share this video with anyone who's fascinated by our future as a species. Leave a comment telling me what aspect of Mars colonization excites you most. And hit that notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into the extraordinary stories shaping human civilization. The future is closer than you think. Thanks for watching Untold Realms. Before you go, don't miss your chance to be part of this incredible journey. Subscribe to Untold Realms right now and stay ahead of the curve as we explore the frontiers of human potential. Your support helps us bring more extraordinary stories just like this one to life. On screen. A dynamic subscribe animation template appears, an animated red subscribe button pulses, surrounded by floating Mars icons and futuristic city silhouettes. As the button is clicked, a notification bell pops up and rings, with confetti celebrating the new subscriber. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for instant updates, and share this video with fellow explorers. Together, let's keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Untold realms, where the future comes alive. See you in the next adventure.